Can you believe Ferrari threw away two strong results over a mistake involving a piece of wood? And no, this isn't a joke. Hamilton's Saturday sprint win was completely overshadowed on Sunday. 3 drivers were disqualified after the Chinese Grand Prix, including Lewis Hamilton. And the reasons will blow your mind. We're breaking it all down in a way no one else is, but only if you stick around till the end. The results table was flipped upside down hours after the checkered flag. What looked like a straightforward race turned into a post-race scandal. But why? After the race, the FIA performed its standard technical checks, but this time, they found serious violations on 3 cars. Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari; Charles Leclerc, Ferrari; Pierre Gasly, Alpine. Hamilton had finished 6th, Leclerc 5th, and Gasly 11th. All 3 disqualified. The reason? Technical violations involving floor wear and underweight cars. Details that make a huge difference. But what exactly is this skid block that got Hamilton booted? And why is it such a big deal? Let's talk about that next. And trust me, it's not as simple as it sounds. A wooden plank underneath the car might sound trivial, but in Formula One, it can be the difference between legal and illegal. And in Ferrari's case, they cross that line. The skid block, or plank, is mounted to the car's floor to ensure minimum ride height. Why does that matter? Because the lower a car runs, the more downforce it generates, which means faster cornering. So when that plank is worn down too much, it's a clear sign the car ran too low. And that's not just a performance issue, it's a rules violation. In Hamilton's case, the FIA found the plank was below the minimum thickness. Instant disqualification. Intent doesn't matter. The rule is absolute. But Leclerc wasn't disqualified for plank wear. So what happened in his case? Let's just say Ferrari gambled on strategy, and it backfired hard. One-stop strategies can be brilliant, or they can destroy your entire race. For Leclerc, it was the latter. Ferrari chose a one-stop strategy for Leclerc, hoping to save time in the pits. But heavy tire wear from that decision had an unexpected side effect. The car lost too much weight during the race. At the finish, it was weighed and found to be under the legal minimum. And just like that, another disqualification. Ferrari admitted it was a miscalculation. A small one maybe, but in F1, that's all it takes. So Ferrari lost 2 cars in one race due to technical infractions. But what about Gasly? He wasn't even in the points and still got disqualified. You're going to want to hear this. How does a driver finish outside the points and still get disqualified? That's what happened to Pierre Gasly, and it sends a warning to every midfield team. Gasly finished 11th. No points, no drama, right? Wrong. His Alpine was also found to be underweight after the race. Same penalty, same result. What this shows is that even the midfield teams are pushing the limits of legality, trying to shave every gram, extract every millisecond. But this time Alpine pushed too far. So what does this all mean for the championship? And what message does it send about Ferrari's readiness to support Hamilton? Let's get into it. Think about it. Hamilton had just won the sprint, his first Ferrari victory. The team was gaining momentum. And then, boom, total collapse over technical errors. So, is this just bad luck? Or a sign that Ferrari still isn't ready to fight at the top? These disqualifications mean Hamilton and Leclerc lose key points. And in a tight championship battle, every point matters. More than that, it shakes confidence. Hamilton left Mercedes for Ferrari looking for a fresh start. But when mistakes like this repeat, remember he was disqualified for the same thing in the US in 2023, you have to wonder, can Ferrari give him a car he can rely on? And that brings us to a bigger question. Is the FIA being too harsh, or are teams just getting too bold with the rules? The next part will make you see this season in a whole new light. Rules are rules. But when every team starts riding the edge of legality, what happens? This might be the start of a new trend in F1. Teams pushing technical limits to the max, hoping the stewards don't notice. But now the FIA did notice. With Hamilton, Leclerc, and Gasly all thrown out, it's a message. Play with fire, and you will get burned. Still, no one ever won a championship by playing it safe. And that's the eternal tension in F1. Push too little, and you lose. Push too far, and you get caught. So where's the line? That's the question every team's asking themselves now. So, what do you think about all this? Was the FIA right to punish these drivers? Did Ferrari completely drop the ball? Is this just racing on the edge or recklessness? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Leave a like if this breakdown helped you understand what really went down. And don't forget to subscribe to Paddock Insider for no fluff, straight talk Formula One content every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And let's not forget, Norris won last weekend in the rain at Melbourne, which means McLaren has now taken back-to-back wins to start the season, one for each driver. Could you ask for a better statement of intent? What's really exciting is how they're doing it. It's not just raw pace, it's clean execution, clever strategy, and drivers who are delivering under pressure. Piastri's win was textbook. He grabbed pole, defended hard against Russell at the start without overdriving, and then managed the entire race from the front. Even with Norris never more than a few seconds behind, Oscar never looked rattled. It was calm, controlled, and clinical. Third win of his career, and probably the most mature drive we've seen from him so far. But let's talk about Norris, because what he pulled off today was pure grit. In the final 10 laps, he was battling serious brake issues. His race engineer literally told him, no hard braking, and reminded him that 18 points is better than 0. And honestly, that message says everything about where McLaren's mindset is right now. Smart, strategic, and playing the long game. And Norris executed, even with Russell breathing down his neck in the final laps, cutting an 8-second gap to just 1. Lando held on. That was a hard-earned 2 pesos that could make a big difference later in the season. Now let's shift to Ferrari, because Charles Leclerc put in a monster drive today. He raced with a damaged front wing and still had the pace to force the team to ask Hamilton to let him through. And to be honest, he was flying. If it wasn't for that early contact, Leclerc had the rhythm to fight for the podium. He eventually lost 4 pesos to Verstappen in the closing laps, but it was still one of the standout performances of the day. As for Hamilton, he won the sprint on Saturday in style, but Sunday was a different story. He resisted the team orders for a few laps before letting Leclerc by, and from there, he faded. He made a second pit stop while everyone else stuck to a one-stopper, and that extra stop took him out of contention. Not a disaster, but definitely not the follow-up he wanted after Saturday's high. So where does that leave the championship? Right now, Lando Norris is leading the standings, 9 points ahead of George Russell. Piastri and Verstappen are right there, just a point behind. Yes, Red Bull is still in the mix. Max found his rhythm in the second half of the race, fought his way to P4, and we all know he's never really out of the fight. But right now, McLaren is the most complete team on the grid. They've got pace, they've got reliability, and they've got 2 drivers firing on all cylinders. If anyone still doubted McLaren's ability to challenge for the title in 2025, this should settle it. Now we want to know what you think. Is Piastri ready to be a title contender? Can Norris hold on to the lead? Is Ferrari still in the game, or already falling behind? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read everything. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Paddock Insider, and hit that bell so you never miss a beat. This is Formula One with no fluff, no filters, just real analysis for real fans. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next race weekend. Let's go.